Greetings, I, TheWarOwl, greets you, and welcome to another episode of Matchmaking Academy, where you are the star for all of the wrong reasons. But don't worry, we're going to figure out what those reasons are and help you improve at Counter-Strike and play the game how it was meant to be played. 5v5, competitive, ownage, team-based game. Alright, our hero today is God's Not Dead. See, Nishi was a hack, and he had some questions about how to take a bomb site as a team. So I'm so glad he sent in a demo on Mirage, because Mirage in particular is a perfect map to talk about this topic. It is a very team-based map, and you need to use coordination to do anything on this map, so it's great. Look at this. They got matching avatars and everything. I don't know what's going on. I guess they have 4 teammates, and then one guy who's a random, who's just like, oh gosh. Gotta deal with these tryhards, man. I need a SIG. I need a SIG to deal with this crap. I don't even know what's going on with the logo here. It looks like maybe 2 robots, like, awkwardly trying to shake hands. Maybe some Nazi thing. I don't know if that's from, like, a game or something like that. I apologize, because I don't recognize it. Either way, check out where we are so far in this game. It's 1-1. T's won the first round. CT's won the second round with a defuse, which means they planted the bomb. They got that extra bomb money. If they had saved completely on this round, they would have been able to buy fully with utility on the next round, and the CTs would have upgraded. However, they do go for the win to try to steal back that economic momentum, which would actually force the CTs to force buy on the next round. So I actually think with what they have, they made the right decision to buy. They could have saved as well, which is also the right decision, but they didn't do anything wrong with the buying except for maybe this. We see some extra money sitting here, I guess Savior and Odin. And look at Savior, he doesn't even have any utility. Odin as well. They could have used that extra money that they have just sitting here in order to buy up utility, because of how important it is. They only have 3 flashes, 1 nade, and a smoke for the whole team. And when you're doing a bomb site take, you really need to make better use of your utility. And watch this. Throughout this entire round, this team, especially with this flash, oh boy, all they did was flash their teammates here. We got 3 guys flashed. They're not going to stop, because it's a rush B, my friends, do not stop. So that's 1 utility down. Let's hop on our boy Beadbag. That is 2 utility down. I believe that hand grenade was meant to go over here, which would have been better, even though there's no CT there. That's like the right way to throw it, but instead it kind of bounced off this and went over here where there really couldn't be anybody. If you're entering this site, there could be a CT here. He could be close against this wall. He could be over here at bench where the guy actually is. He could be playing the site. He could be playing even over here in the window. Probably, this is less likely though, this early. There's always going to be a player short. Like, you have to expect this guy to be somewhere looking up like this. So using one of those flashes and banking it off of this wall down here, but I could show you that in game, would have been a much better use of the utility. The hand grenade over here is a good idea though, and flashing over the top is a good idea. The execution on the throw was painful to watch. Alright, and now they try to rush B, don't stop into the site. God's Not Dead, my boy. We have to talk about that spray control. That was really bad. He just kind of like held sustained spray control on that position. Would have maybe been a little bit better to either just try to run through so his teammates could look at that spot and then he could get a better position, or to hold the position with his crosshair and shoot when the guy actually decided to peek, instead of just spraying and hoping the guy walks into your spray and you're just brilliant enough. You're like, get right. You're going to spray perfectly so that the guy, when he peeks out, it automatically just hits him in the head. A little bit of foolish. There's a lot of little bits of foolishness in here that I think will go well. It'll go really well with the theme I'm trying to establish with this team. So right now, we are actually in a really good position for the terrorists. Check this out. 3 players in the site. We have 3 players moving in for the retake. 1 player still all the way back here at A. So this is an advantageous position for the T's. Bomb planted. Let's check out the utility. 2 flashes, Molotov, and then we got 3 flashes, 2 smokes. So it's actually pretty even right now. And they have these 2 AK-47s. So this is a very good situation for the terrorists. It's not like a guaranteed win. It makes sense for the CTs to go for the retake on this, especially since it's 3v3, but they do have the advantage here and they have to play defense. Let's see what happens with the utility. Oh no! That scout shot was pretty crazy though. One of those things you can't really predict. And you notice the CTs move in for the retake and seemingly just really easily waltz in and wreck the rest of these guys. So let's talk a little bit about that in game. I'm a terrorist and I want to take bomb site B on Mirage and I'm on a list somewhere, because you can't just publicly say I'm a terrorist. But anyway, my job is to take bomb site B as a team, and we've come up with a little strat we like to call Rush B, do not stop, Rush B, my friends. And you know, you gotta give them credit for actually pushing through that smoke, getting into the site, taking it with 3 guys left. If you guys were fighting against a better team, here's what happens. Oh look, the smoke's down. They don't have a lot of money, but they did have a Molotov, because you guys picked it up. Oh look, there's a Molotov on the other side of here. Oh look, there's a flash down. You guys are flashed. Oh look, someone's yelling at us to rush, and we just ran into a Molotov, and then a guy standing right here just mowed us all down. It's tough. Taking bomb site B is hard, and I think it's especially hard because there's no utility throws that will guarantee you a victory. I don't think the problem with this team, even though the problem with this round in particular, a lot of it was bad utility, I don't think the main problem has to do with bad utility throws, but let's just go over a little bit. So what he was trying to throw that he messed up was that one over the top. If you do it enough, you just do it like subconsciously. This one goes up into the sky, and it'll hit players who are playing bench, or pretty much the player who's dedicated inside of the site. No matter where he is, this flash is going to hit him, and it's very hard to like see coming and avoid. But the player it won't hit is the player playing short. There's 2 players you got to deal with: the guy in the site and the guy short. So how do you deal with this guy short? That's not going to flash him at all. He's got this big arch. He could be sitting here. Like what he does early on is he runs up here at short. He hears you. You guys are full on running. The enemy team now has full intel about where you are, which is why this strat I don't think is a very good idea, but it can work on a round like this. It's not 100% bad idea. But you gotta like realize that what's happened is this guy heard you. He's turned back. He's gonna be watching these windows in this area over here. And the enemy team is already setting up for a retake. It's a 2 versus 5 into the site, as you guys are just flat out rushing it, which means you guys are probably going to win it. If the enemy team destroys you, great. But even if you take it and get that bomb planted, the enemy team has to set up for a retake. So they're already doing that. They're way ahead of you guys at this point. And you guys got to think way ahead. So how do you deal with this guy? How do you flash him? Look at the different positions he can be. He can be here just watching this window, or he can be here watching this window. What position do you see that's the same that we can throw a flash between these 2? Where can we throw a flash that'll hit him no matter where he's standing? Oh, there's nowhere. It's not possible. You're boned. There's no good flashes to hit this guy. I mean, very naturally, you can just throw a flash like that. It's not going to hit your teammates. It's easy to avoid. It lands down here, so chances are he's gonna see it. This guy, he won't see it. This guy, he won't see it either. That one actually hits 0 of them, so it's not super great. So yeah, you're not gonna flash this guy. You may get lucky with it. So that kind of sucks, but it doesn't hurt to just throw a flash there because you're not gonna hit your teammates when you do that. So as you guys are pushing through, you saw one of you guys did have, oh yeah, you didn't. If you did like spend the extra money to buy a Molotov, it's 400. One of you guys had a nade. Throwing it there is actually a really good idea because that could hit that guy. Actually getting a little bit more of a bounce on it, so as you're running, throw it. That's pretty good, because if the guy's down there, he's going to get some damage done. But if he did spend the extra 100, which he had, on a Molotov, look how great this is. You Molotov porch as you're running in, or bench, and he cannot use this position now. This guy's got to play here, or he's got to move back into the site, and you've already eliminated one possible place he could be. And as you guys are running through, someone's got to check this spot on the right. He could totally be there. Here's another round where the team executes a bomb site take. And again, this is what they were worried about. We see that God's Not Dead is going to be throwing the stairs smoke. So it's like, oh, they're going to be setting up and doing a blitzkrieg into bomb site A. It's at 1 minute and 41 seconds. And look at the mini-map right now. In terms of map control, T's have set up, and they're going to commit to doing this bomb site take. So here are the smokes that are going to come down. This is very obvious because this is the standard. This is how you do it. Here come the smokes. That's great. Perfect. All the smokes are down. We got a Molotov. Molotov missed a little bit. This player able to get a pick because he snuck up behind him. That's a trade. That's actually good. This player killing 2. Not so good for these guys. They're eventually able to take him down, and we now are in a 2 versus 3 where terrorists have bomb site control and CTs are rotating. We see one is going to be Edward from Navi moving his way all the way around from behind. So these guys have some time to get that bomb down. They don't know that yet, but they have to get that bomb down before these smokes clear. Otherwise, the round is probably going to be a loss. So let's see what they do now that they've taken the bomb site. This guy pushes, like, peeks into CT. Smokes are starting to clear. Does a fake plant. And now goes for the plant. These guys very wisely use their utility to nade and Molotov the players. So that fake plant, what did you think was gonna happen there, buddy? Did you think, oh, I'll fake plant them and then they'll peek me? No one's gonna peek you. No one's gonna peek you. Also, minor point, if somebody's planning in this position, it makes sense for the other guy to be watching CT, or at least to throw another smoke or something, or a flash or something at CT, because that's the only place this guy can get killed while he gets the bomb down. If he just flat out planted it completely, he would have gotten out of there before the barrage of death came. Then he just kind of like tried to plan it. This poor guy now in a 1 versus 3. Picks off 2, but eventually gets killed by the rotating player. Look at that, Edward from Navi came into play. So that actually looked like it was a close round, right? But I kind of felt like the terrorists could have made more use of that. And in fact, like, could have made more use of the round and at least having a buy round in general. So let's hop in game and let's talk about what I think is kind of the main thing with this team, what they can work on, and how I think they can build off of what they have. And they actually have something really good. And they can build off of that and make something great. Guys, are you ready for the moral of the story that I've been teasing? Here's the moral of the story. These guys, they want to work as a team. They're taking very good first steps to doing so. They are working together, they're executing takes, they're moving in, they're listening, they're probably giving calls. Everything is looking great for these guys, but what they don't have is the experience. They have been able to actually take bomb sites, get in a position where they could win, and then they just don't know what to do. Once they get in there, they're running around, they're looking all over, they're like, well, what now? It's like you finally get that dream girl, right? You take her home, you unwrap her. What do? I don't know what to do now. It's like a dog chasing a car. He chases that car all day. If he catches it, well, he don't know what to do with it. That's Larry the Cable Guy. Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? Oh look, there's other like throws that I have talked about like a million times on this series, guys. Look at all of these. These are beautiful. Nobody ever does them though. Look at this. As you're entering, look at this Molotov. You can throw it from back here. Why do I say this? People, use more Molotovs for crying out loud. Anyway, moral of the story, this team and what they need to get better is experience. They need to play the game, they need to work on that muscle memory, shooting, all of the basics, and they need to just gain that experience from playing it over and over and over again and trying these bomb site takes. Now, I think a good start for a team is to do these executions, to do these straight out executions. And it may not work, you may get killed, but just pulling it off, I think that's a win in my book, because you've learned something, you've taken like the first step. But generally inside of a real game, you're not just gonna be in the spawn and say, all right guys, here's the plan. We're gonna do an execute on bomb site A. You throw the stairs smoke. All right, let's get that stairs smoke. Boom, throw it at 145. All right, there it goes, we're good to go. How you're generally gonna be playing this game is you're gonna split up. There's one guy who's gonna be like, all right, I am the palace player. You play it slow, you move around, you take position, you see if you can get some picks, you wait here, you check inside, you leave the bomb dropped inside of the spawn, so if anybody decides to rotate, you say, okay guys, at this point, we've gotten a pick, we're gonna rotate back, we're gonna execute an A take, they can grab the bomb on their way back to A, and then, oh look, we have 50 seconds left in the round, throw it at 45, now I've thrown it, now we're doing the take. So now you're using that skill that you guys have developed where you can get together really quickly and execute a bomb site take. But you don't have to just execute the bomb site take right at the start of the round. That's a blitzkrieg strat. It's useful, pros use it from time to time, but I think as you get more and more into the game, you're gonna have more standard setups. And let me give you a standard setup on Mirage, okay? Let me just give you one really quickly. One player at the start of the round throws a smoke top mid, all right? 1 or 2 players, as the smoke pops, usually an AWP player, you can move down here, you gotta check here because they could be here, and take this mid control. If you haven't, like from this position, you can hold, you can check all these angles, and even when you get to this position, don't do this yet, but if you need to, if you're like, all right, now we're gonna execute an A take, you can throw the window smoke from here, and it's really easy to throw, okay? You can also throw the short smoke from here, anything like that. 1 or 2 players up here, and then you can work off of this. So you've worked on that mid control. You have another 1 or 2 players. So you got 3 players going this direction, right? And 2 could go mid or 2 could go this way. You have a player playing B, holding this position in case they try to push it. He can maybe peek a little bit, listen, get some intel. One of these players can go down into underpass, walk this so they don't know that you're there, right? If you get down here, and you're working on this mid control, this is a great position to be to help with the mid control. You can throw all kinds of stuff. You can boost in the window. You can work off of that. The next thing, you have these two players who are going A side. One player plays Palace. First thing he does is runs up here and checks this angle, because a lot of times CTs will peek in here and try to hit you. So you got to get in here and check this angle. Then you can walk, so make sure nobody knows you're there, and get up close. And now you're playing the Palace position. You can do a lot off of this. Just peeking like this, a lot of times you're just going to get opt. You're just getting opt. So you can use a lot of different throws, a lot of different things. You can jump by to bait it out, get intel. Lots of stuff you can do off of this position. It's very dynamic. I'm teaching you guys to play more dynamically. You got one guy playing A main. He can actually hold this spot right here early on. Maybe look up here in case somebody tries to peek it a little bit later. A lot of times players will just push really close, so you can hold an angle close like this, depending upon what happens. If they smoke them off, you've got all that intel, you've got a lot to work with, and then off of that, if you get a pick, if a CT gets too crazy and peeks a stupid spot, if you're able to, like this guy says, all right, this makes sense to me because I'm smart, and boom, he picks the guy at triple box. Now you can say, all right, this is what we're going to do off of that, and you play more dynamically. And if you get to the point where you're like, let's do an A take, you have that skill, because you guys already know how to throw the smokes, flashes, Molotovs, and everything like that to do an A take. But it's just a matter of getting into the position where that's going to be super beneficial. And all of that takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of time, and a lot of work on your part as a team to get good and to be able to work well with your teammates and work off of them and know their strengths and weaknesses, where to put people, who's good at picking, who's good at throwing stuff. It takes time, guys, so keep practicing. You will get there, and it looks like I'm really actually excited because you guys have taken the first step toward getting good. So thank you folks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I am TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer. Oh, poor Tilted. Oh my gosh, he couldn't get that AK. And he even dropped his scout down there. Now that would make me tilted.